Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to today's market outlook with me, Edmund. And today's a Wednesday, 2nd of September 2020. We had a very exciting day yesterday. On Tuesday, we saw the US dollar coming down, finding very good support. And towards the US trading sessions yesterday, the US dollar managed a decent retracement and recovery. Okay, so with the US dollar pushing up during the US trading sessions, we did see the UK pound moving back down about 100 pips, and also for the euro dollar, it also moved down about 90 pips. Okay, so before we look in detail on the technical side of things, let us have a look and see what is coming up for today's economic calendar. So early this morning at 9:30 a.m. local Singapore time, Australia released their quarterly GDP numbers, and the numbers came in at negative 7% over here this morning at 9:30 a.m. Negative 7% versus market expectations of a negative 6% reading. It did not have much of an impact on the Aussie dollar, just pushing down the Aussie dollar from 0.7375 all the way to a low of 0.7334, moving down about 40 pips. Okay, currently it's gone quiet again. So that was the early economic event news release this morning. And towards 2 p.m. Local Malaysia and Singapore time, we will be having the monthly German retail sales data. And towards 4:30 p.m., we will be having the house price index numbers. And I guess the focus today will be on tonight's US economic data, which will be the ADP non-farm employment change numbers. Markets are expecting the numbers to come in at over here, to come in at 1.25 million jobs created. So if the actual results come in below 1.25 million, the numbers will appear in red in color, and theoretically it will be bearish for the US dollar. Okay, so Bank of England Governor Mr. Andrew Bailey will be speaking at 9 p.m. So we could possibly be watching for volume chart patterns and also movements as early as 2 to 4 p.m. leading all the way to 7 to 9 p.m. Just before Mr. Andrew Bailey speaks at 9 p.m. FOMC member Mr. John Williams will also be speaking at 10 p.m. I would personally feel that there shouldn't be a major impact on what he's going to say. However, we should still pay attention to 7 to 9 p.m. or maybe just about 10 p.m. as the US markets are coming into play to see how it will influence the US dollar, the UK pound, the euro, and even how it will influence the movement of gold prices. Okay, so US factory orders data will be also released at 10 p.m. and moving towards 10:30 p.m. we will be having the crude oil inventories numbers. Markets are expecting crude oil inventories to come in at a drawdown of negative 2 million barrels of oil. So if the numbers come in, for example, at negative 1.5 million barrels, theoretically negative 1.5 million barrels means that the drawdown is less than expected. It also means that there is a larger amount of supply in the inventories, and theoretically this should be pushing down oil prices. If the numbers come in above negative 2 million, for example, it comes in at negative 3 million, it means that there is a larger drawdown that the markets has forecasted, and theoretically this means there's less supply of crude oil, and it should be pushing up oil prices. Okay, but again, oil prices has been pretty quiet for the last 2 weeks now. So maybe it's time I find another financial instruments to replace oil. Okay, as it's not really moving much. Okay, so so that would be the crude oil inventories data at 10:30 p.m. And over the last 24 hours, again, we see the US dollar dropping during the Asian trading session yesterday. At the open at about here we go. Okay, let me just remove this line. So at the open at about yesterday as early as 6 a.m. As early as 8 a.m. and towards 9 a.m. yesterday, the US dollar dropped from 92.15, and within 3 hours it touched a low of 91.76. And then after it consolidated for quite a number of hours, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 about 8 hours. But the key thing is it didn't break this support. Okay, and towards this timing, 1600 plus 5 21 9 p.m. As the US traders are coming in, it starts to strengthen. Okay, and it strengthens all the way from 91.75 all the way to about 92.39. So yeah, 9 a.m. weakens, 9 p.m. strengthens. Okay, so when we look at the US dollar, when we look at the UK pound charts, we can see that number one, the UK pound started to move up yesterday at 1.4 plus 5, 9 a.m. As the US dollar was weakening over here, we do see the UK pound strengthening from 1.3356, and then it goes up until 1.3412, moving up 55 pips during the Asian trading session. And then during the UK trading sessions at about 3 p.m. moves up from 1.3394 all the way to a high of 1.3481, moving up another 86 pips. So from the Asian session all the way until the UK trading sessions, the UK pound has moved up about 120 pips. Yeah, very nice. Okay, and towards the US trading sessions, again, the time is 9 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. As the US dollar is strengthening, we do see the UK pound weakening over here. 1600 plus 5, 21, goes down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, goes down 90, goes down 100 pips. Okay, so that's movement for you. 120 pips up and 100 pips down. So out of that 220 pip range of movement, if you manage to catch anything from 40 to 50 pips, that would have been a good trade. Okay, so this morning the US dollar seems to be having some resistance over here at 92.47. Okay, this is the immediate resistance, and yeah, it should be ranging around these levels, but bear in mind that the US dollar ended the most latest sentiment on a bullish note. Okay, so we're going to see possibly US dollar can strengthen a little bit more, and as it strengthens a little bit more, we could be watching the UK pound just going down a little bit. First of all, to test the nearest support levels of 1.3356, which is just about 15 pips to the downside. If these levels are broken, we could see the UK pound testing the next support levels of 1.3314, which is about just about 58 pips to the downside. If it manages to consolidate and it moves up, the next target prices would be 1.3397, which is about 20 pips to the upside, and also the next one would be at 1.3411. Okay, but there's a high chance, yeah, possibly it will go down a little bit more before consolidating, and during the UK session later, it will decide where it's going to go. Okay, so yeah, 120 pips up, 100 pips down. This morning is moving about 32 pips. Okay, so moving on to the euro dollar. Again, it's a similar behavior as the UK pound. Okay, so we do see again, as a reference, the US dollar weakening at 9 a.m. yesterday and strengthening at 9 p.m. So when we are looking at the euro dollar, again, we do see a similar pattern. 4 plus 5, 9 a.m. yesterday, the euro dollar strengthens from 1.1939 all the way to a high of 1.1994, going up about 55 pips, and towards 9 p.m., 16 plus 5, 21, the euro dollar weakens from 1.1993 all the way to a low of 1.1898. Okay, so it came down another 94 pips, 93 pips. Okay, so this morning the euro dollar is still weakening about 30 pips, so the general sentiment for the euro dollar and UK pound is still on a bearish note. Okay, gold prices, again, similar pattern, very active, moving up from 1,967 at about 9 a.m. and it touched a high of 1,992 okay, towards the UK trading sessions, and it was pretty quiet during the UK trading sessions and only started to move down. Again, the time here is 16 plus 5, 21, which is 9 p.m. moves down from 1,991 all the way to a low of 1,962, so it came down another $28. So as of this morning, the Asian trading session, it moved down from 1972 all the way to a low of 1958, moving down about $13 US. So currently, yeah, the gold prices are still in a bearish mode. Well, sideways to bearish. Okay, so if it does push down further, we are looking for target prices of 1,953, which is about $9 to the downside. And if it does push up, the first target resistance is 1971, which is also $9 to the upside. The next higher target price would be 1982, which is about $20 to the upside. Okay, so that will be the ranges for today. Silver also pulled down yesterday following the behavior or patterns of gold prices. US oil is still consolidating in a range, pretty quiet at the moment. Yeah. So last but not least, the S&P 500 continues to consolidate yesterday, and towards the end of the US trading sessions, it actually went up further and touched a record high of 3,543 levels. Okay, so highest on record. So yeah, very exciting days. Every single day there's plenty of good opportunities on the major currency pairs such as the UK pound, the euro, or even the US dollar JPY, and also the Aussie JPY, or even on the USD CAD pairs. Okay, so we see a similar story. Yesterday, the Canadian dollar strengthened about 90 pips during the US trading session after finding support during the UK trading session. Okay, so yeah, every day plenty of opportunities. So do the proper analysis, stand by, anticipate for the move, and when it happens, when during any of the three financial market sessions, that's when we take our trade, collect our profits, put a stop loss, and job done for the day. Okay, so I hope you guys have a good trading day ahead, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the latest market updates. Thank you. Take care.